This is the screencast for Co5. And Co5 says, two people push in opposite directions on a crate sitting on a frictionless surface. If the crate is initially at rest at point A, then moves to the left without rotating and ends up at rest at point B, describe how much work is done by each person. So I started off by drawing a picture. So this is the crate with two people pushing on it. So this is its first position. This is point A. And then it moves to the left and then goes to rest. So this is point B. And I made the distance between them, the displacement between them, 5 meters. So it started at point A, it moved 5 meters to point B and is at rest. So for the crate to move left means that person, who I marked person 1, has a greater force to make it move left. So I started off by saying the person on the right, which is person 1, has a larger force to make it move to the left. So I'm kind of just going to describe my picture. So person 1, I said the force is 2 newtons, while person 2 has a force of 1 newton. So, like I said, person 1 has a greater force to make it move left. And to prove this, well, I drew a free body diagram, which is the person pushing, person 2 is pushing to the right, so I made a arrow going to the right, which is smaller, and then the person 1 is pushing to the left, and I made that arrow larger because they had the greater force. So I started off by doing, to find the work equals force times delta x cosine theta. So for person 2, I said had a force of 1 newton, so 1 newton times 5, which is the change in x, times cosine 180 gives me negative 5 newton meters. So the work is negative 5 newton meters. And then for person 1, I said had a force of 2 newtons. So it's 2 newtons times delta x, which is 5, times cosine 0, which leaves you with positive 10 newton meters. So the work is 10 newton meters. And down here I put the angle for person 1 is 0 degrees because it is the angle between the force and the distance. And the person 1 was pushing left and the crate moved left, so that person has 0 degrees. That's why I multiplied it by 0 degrees. And for person 2, I multiplied by 180 because they pushed to the right, but the crate ended up moving to the left. So that's where I got those values of theta from. And this was my coordinate system, so therefore it makes sense when person 1 has positive 10 newtons, it moved to the left, and person 2, when they pushed, it's negative 5 newtons, which is less, to the right. So person 1 has the greater work done.